It's time again for Talking Trade, sponsored by MMAC's World Trade Association and Michael Best Strategies.
Welcome to another session of Talking Trade. I'm Ken Wasylik, Managing Director of EM Wasylik and Associates, an international business development company.
And I'm Sandi Siegel, President of ME Day. It's my pleasure to welcome Dean Haen, Director of the Brown County Port and Resource Recovery Department. Welcome, Dean, and thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
So as I understand, part of your role is to direct business activity and economic development for the Port of Green Bay. And there's certainly been a lot of change in the last several decades, as I've witnessed in the Green Bay area and throughout Wisconsin, different shifts in manufacturing and industries in the area. So tell us a little bit about what the current business climate is in the Green Bay area and what are some of the changes in development that you've helped facilitate?
Yes, well, thank you, Sandi. The Port of Green Bay, serves northeastern Wisconsin as far as south as Sheboygan, over to Wausau, and up into the UP. And when I say the port serves, we're serving the industries of agriculture, construction, and manufacturing. So as they need raw materials, the port serves as the conduit for those commodities.
Yeah, so let's expand on that, Dean. What commodities and products are regular, both on the import side and the export side as well?
Yeah, Ken, the Port of Green Bay currently sees movements of petroleum products, diesel, gasoline inbound, ethanol outbound, liquid asphalt for asphalt cement for concrete, limestone for a variety of manufacturing and agricultural applications, salt for canning and paper making, along with road maintenance in the winter. We do coal as well, pig iron, aluminum components, ash, carbon anodes, and a variety of smaller commodities. We typically see about 14, 15 different commodities moving into the northeastern Wisconsin through the Port of Green Bay each year.
And from an activity, how many tons we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, so the port sees itself having a good, strong economy. Northeastern Wisconsin, when we see, upwards and close to 2 million tons a year, metric tons moving through the port.
Okay, well, very good.
Are there areas that you're focusing now in trying to bring, back to the area or helping facilitate trade? I know the lumber area, the lumber industries, always looking for more effective ways of moving cargo. Is that an area that, is active at the port?
Yes, and I did fail to mention that commodity. Yeah. We do move forest products, wood pulp, wet lap, and lumber into the port. So that does come through, and commodities come and go as well.
Right.
Conditions change. But the port is actively working on developing and getting new tenants into the port. And how you do that is by looking at, gaps in in supply chains. Is there a way that we can fill a void, so to speak? They're challenging. I mean, you work for ME Day, and getting someone to change their supply chain takes a lot of time and effort, and they don't happen overnight. So port-related new developments take several years to facilitate.
Well, exactly. And then, the news daily and changes in tariffs and things like that we're, in the middle of, impacts all of these industries, right? So it's very hard to keep up with some of the trends and the changes in our industry and trying to help, support these various businesses and their commodities. So, I know we're excited and always interested in ways that we can be a resource and so forth. So I know you've been, successful, and you've helped orchestrate millions of dollars of some of the project improvements for the port. And, we've benefited from some of those improvements. As part of that, did you receive some of the transportation infrastructure dollars, or how have those been spent, or are there plans to be, future plans in the works?
Yeah, so in Green Bay, we had a decommissioned coal-fired power plant that sits at the mouth of the river, and that was identified as the ideal port location of the future, a decade ago, and that came to fruition that it closed down, and the county purchased the property. And then we've been assembling a variety of grant fundings to repurpose that site into a port project. And we've received, county ARPA dollars, state neighborhood investment dollars, US DOT Port Infrastructure Development Program grant, state DOT harbor assistance grants. And we have one last grant that's out there, a US DOT RAISE grant, that if we are successful here in June, we'll assembled all the dollars necessary to repurpose that property. So we're really optimistic and hopeful that we're successful in this next and hopefully last round of grants needed to see this project built.
So you mentioned the repurposing of this, the property. Is this to carry more bulk goods or get into a container situation, intermodal, or what's the plan for that particular development?
Well, we're currently looking at moving a current tenant, but then the port growth would happen at their previous location. So it is all hinged upon port growth. We have to demonstrate port growth to have access to these dollars, and that port growth could be in the way, shape, and form of containers, lay down area for steel products, barred, coiled plate steel, could be fertilizer, could be containers, could be wind components. But that's, we're putting additional acres into port use, and we will figure out a user once we get the site built.
Well, that's great. So that's a major project that you're undergoing right now. What's the outlook for? Is there other projects that are in the works or thinking about, or what's the future look like for the port?
Well, I think the future is bright. It's obviously a changing world with less coal being consumed. But that's what we're here to help our manufacturers, our construction, our agricultural industries meet their needs in a cost-effective manner. So we've been doing that diversification, and that's a plan going forward, is to to handle a variety of commodities, so we don't have the ups and downs of being too dependent on just dry bulk storage.
And you have a lot of that shipbuilding industry there, moving goods in and out, I think, through the port.
Yes, one of our tenants is Ace Marine, which is a part of Fincantieri. So they make aluminum components and move them up to the shipyards. We do have a marine highway between Sturgeon Bay, Green Bay, and Marinette that's designated by MARAD, so that we can use all three operations, Green Bay being the deep water port, and then Bay Ship does more Lakers and freighters, and Marinette does more Navy and Coast Guard. So collectively, we are working to sustain and grow shipbuilding in Wisconsin.
No, we're excited, and we participated in that industry a little bit as well. I have to ask, and I should know the answer to this. Milwaukee's been so successful at the port with the cruise ships, and it's been great for the local economy. Are you on that rotation at all, or is that something that could happen in the future?
We believe that is a growth area. We've had cruise ships. We have some challenges in terms of one railroad bridge that cruise ship owners of those vessels don't like to take their beautiful cruise ship through a narrow opening, and so we're working to change that opening, working with the railroad to make that opening wider and easier to navigate as those ships enter the river.
Okay, so that's a possibility. Okay, great. No, it's been a huge success for the Port of Milwaukee, and very exciting seeing those cruise ships docked here at the port.
Yes, and with the NFL draft coming up, we've been
Right.
the idea of bringing in, the cruise ships as floating hotels to accommodate the
Sure.
NFL draft.
Oh, great. Yeah, that'd be fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, after watching the draft last time, I wondered where we were going in Green Bay with all of those visitors. So, well, it's exciting opportunities. And, we're grateful for all the work you're doing in rebuilding the area and supporting the community, the trade community. So thank you. Dean, pleasure meeting you and having you on the show. And thank you for joining Talking Trade.
Okay, thank you. Hope everyone has a great day and weekend.
Yeah. Thanks, Dean.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Talking Trade, sponsored by MMAC's World Trade Association and Michael Best Strategies.